While everyone else is waiting for spring, there are 6 vegetables you can start planting right now in January that will have you harvesting fresh food before your neighbors even think about opening their seed packets. The crazy part? These aren't obscure exotic plants. They're vegetables you already know and love, but almost nobody realizes they can handle cold soil and freezing temperatures. Miss this January window and you'll be eating store-bought produce in March while kicking yourself for waiting. Stay with me because what I'm about to show you turns winter from dead time into your most productive season. Hey garden family, welcome back to Timeless Gardens, where we prove you don't need perfect weather or a fat wallet to grow amazing food. If you're new here, you just joined a community that's done with conventional gardening rules that keep you dependent and frustrated. And to my returning viewers, you already know we skip the fluff and give you what actually works. Today's video is going to change how you think about January forever. Before we reveal these 6 game changers, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because every week we're dropping strategies that save you money and put fresh food on your table year-round. Drop a comment right now telling me what you usually do in your garden during January. I'm curious if you're already ahead of the game or if this is about to blow your mind. Let's get into it. Here's what most gardeners get wrong about January. They treat it like a dead month, a time to flip through seed catalogs and dream about spring. But while they're waiting, they're missing the single best opportunity to get ahead of the entire growing season. These 6 vegetables I'm about to share aren't just cold tolerant. They actually prefer cold soil for germination and early growth. Plant them in January and they'll establish strong root systems while temperatures are still low, then explode with growth the moment conditions warm up slightly. That means you're harvesting in late February, March, and early April when everyone else is just starting to plant. But here's the part that really matters for your wallet. Early season produce at stores costs double or triple what it does in summer because supply is low and demand is high. When you're pulling fresh vegetables from your garden in late winter, you're not just eating better, you're saving serious money during the most expensive time of year to buy produce. Plus, January planting teaches you something crucial about gardening. You don't have to wait for perfect conditions. You learn to work with what nature gives you, and that mindset shift will make you a better grower all year long. When you stop being afraid of cold weather, your productive season extends by months instead of weeks. The best part? These vegetables are incredibly forgiving. They handle temperature swings, unexpected freezes, and less than ideal conditions because they evolved to grow in cool weather. You're not fighting nature, you're working with it. Vegetable 1, spinach. Let's start with spinach, and this might be the single best January crop you can plant. Spinach seeds actually germinate better in cold soil than warm soil. In fact, they struggle in heat, which is why spring-planted spinach often bolts before you get a decent harvest. January-planted spinach gives you the exact conditions this crop loves. The seeds will germinate slowly but steadily in cold soil, and the young plants will grow strong and compact. Then, as daylight increases in late winter, they'll size up quickly and you'll be harvesting beautiful tender leaves by late February or early March. Here's a trick most people miss. Spinach planted in January develops sweeter flavor than spring or summer spinach because cold temperatures trigger the plant to produce more sugars as a natural antifreeze. You're literally getting better tasting spinach by planting early. Growing it couldn't be simpler. Scatter seeds directly in prepared beds, cover with about ½ an inch of soil, and forget about them. They'll handle freezes, snow, and whatever winter throws at them. If you want to speed things up, cover the bed with a simple row cover or cold frame, but it's not required. One more bonus. Spinach planted now will produce heavily in early spring, then you can let a few plants go to seed. Collect those seeds and you've got free spinach for next year. You just turned a $3 seed packet into years of harvests. Vegetable 2, snap peas. Number 2 is snap peas, and this is where January planting really shows its genius. Peas need cold soil to germinate properly. If you wait until spring warms up, germination becomes erratic and plants never develop strong roots. Plant pea seeds in January and they'll sit in that cold soil, slowly waking up, developing robust root systems. By the time temperatures start climbing in late winter, those roots are established and ready to support vigorous top growth. You'll have peas producing by early April, sometimes even late March, which is a full month ahead of people who wait to plant. The flavor difference is remarkable too. Peas grown in cool weather are crisp and sweet. Peas that mature in heat are starchy and tough. January planting guarantees your harvest happens during prime pea weather. Here's the practical side. Peas fix nitrogen in the soil while they grow, which means they're actually improving your beds for whatever comes next. When your pea harvest finishes in late spring, pull the plants but leave the roots in the ground. They'll decompose and release all that captured nitrogen right where your next crop needs it. Plant peas about an inch deep, space them 2 to 3 inches apart, and give them something to climb. A simple trellis or even some twine strung between stakes works perfectly. Water them in if the soil is dry, then let winter rain and snow do the rest of the work. Vegetable 3, broad beans. Number 3 is broad beans, also called fava beans, and if you've never grown these, you're missing out on one of the most reliable January crops. These beans are incredibly tough. They handle freezing temperatures that would kill other beans without even slowing down. Broad beans planted in January will germinate slowly, push through cold soil, and establish themselves through winter. Come spring, they grow fast and produce huge amounts of beans. We're talking pounds of food from a small planting. But the benefits go beyond just the beans. Young broad bean plants produce edible shoots that you can harvest and eat like greens while the plants are still small. So you're getting 2 harvests from one planting. Cut the growing tips when plants are about a foot tall, toss them in stir-fries or salads, and the plant will branch out and produce even more beans. Then there's the soil improvement angle. Like peas, broad beans fix nitrogen. When you're done harvesting, chop the entire plant and turn it into the soil as green manure. You've just added free organic fertilizer and organic matter without spending a dime on amendments. Planting is straightforward. Push beans about 2 inches deep into the soil, space them 6 inches apart, and they'll take care of themselves. These plants grow tall and sturdy, so they don't need support unless you get extreme wind. Let me pause here because we're halfway through and I need to know this information is landing. If you're already planning which of these vegetables you'll plant first, hit that like button so the algorithm knows this content matters. And drop a comment telling me which vegetable has surprised you most so far. Are you shocked that spinach tastes sweeter in cold weather? Did you know peas actually prefer January planting? Let me know, I read every comment. Now let's hit the final 3. Vegetable 4, Arugula. Number 4 is Arugula, and this peppery green is absurdly easy to grow in January. Arugula seeds germinate in cold soil faster than almost any other vegetable. You can have seedlings popping up within a week even in freezing conditions. The reason arugula works so well for January is that it's naturally a cool season crop that bolts and turns bitter the moment warm weather arrives. Plant it now and you'll harvest tender, mildly spicy leaves all through late winter and early spring before it even thinks about flowering. Arugula is also a cut-and-come-again crop, which means you don't pull the whole plant. You harvest outer leaves and let the center keep growing. One January planting can provide continuous harvests for 2 to 3 months if you manage it right. Here's a bonus that makes arugula even better. When it finally does bolt in late spring, let it flower. The flowers are edible, beautiful, and they attract beneficial insects. Then it will self-seed, meaning you'll have volunteer arugula plants popping up for years. You plant it once and it essentially becomes a permanent free crop. To plant, scatter seeds thinly over prepared soil, barely cover them, and water in. That's it. Within days you'll see green, and within 3 weeks you'll be eating fresh arugula while your neighbors are still buying it at the store for $6 a bag. Vegetable 5, radishes. At number 5 we have radishes, and these are your instant gratification crop. Radishes planted in January can be ready to harvest in as little as 25 to 30 days depending on variety and weather. That means fresh crunchy vegetables in late February. But radishes aren't just about speed. They're also working for you underground in ways most people never realize. Radish roots break up compacted soil as they grow, creating channels that improve drainage and aeration. They also bring nutrients up from deeper soil layers, making them available to future crops. This makes radishes perfect for beds you're preparing for spring planting. Put radishes in now, harvest them in late winter, and that soil will be loose, fertile, and ready for whatever comes next. You're getting food and soil improvement from the same plant. Growing radishes is maybe the easiest thing you'll do all year. Make shallow furrows, drop seeds every inch or so, cover lightly, and water. They germinate quickly even in cold soil and they're incredibly forgiving of neglect. Here's a pro move. Plant radishes every 2 weeks from January through early March. This succession planting gives you continuous harvests instead of one big batch all at once that you can't possibly eat before they get woody. Vegetable 6, lettuce. And finally, number 6 is lettuce, specifically cold hardy varieties like Winter Density, Arctic King, or any of the loose leaf types bred for cool weather. January is actually the perfect time to start lettuce because it absolutely hates heat. Lettuce seeds germinate readily in cold soil, and the plants grow slowly but steadily through winter. This slow growth is actually ideal because it produces tender, sweet leaves instead of the bitter, tough lettuce you get when plants grow too fast in warm weather. Plant lettuce in January and you'll be cutting fresh salad greens by early March. But here's where it gets strategic. This first planting kicks off a succession cycle that can keep you in fresh lettuce for 8 months of the year. Every time you harvest, plant more. Keep doing this every 2 to 3 weeks until early May when it gets too hot. Then pause for summer and start again in late summer for fall harvests. But that first January planting is what starts the whole beautiful cycle. Lettuce is incredibly flexible about how you grow it. Scatter seeds for baby greens you'll harvest in a few weeks, or space them properly for full heads. Either way works. You can even grow lettuce in containers if you don't have garden space. One last tip. Lettuce is shallow-rooted and appreciates consistent moisture. In winter that's usually not a problem because rain and snow handle watering. But if you're in a dry climate, check occasionally and water if the top inch of soil is dry. Look, I could tell you that January planting saves money, extends your harvest season, and gives you bragging rights when you're eating fresh food in February. All of that's true. But the real reason this matters goes deeper. When you plant in January, you're proving to yourself that you're not limited by conventional gardening wisdom. You're not waiting for someone to tell you it's time. You're observing nature, understanding what plants actually need, and taking action based on knowledge instead of fear. That mindset shift, that confidence in your ability to grow food in less than perfect conditions, that's what transforms someone from a casual gardener into a food producer. And food producers don't worry as much about grocery prices, supply chains, or whether the store will have what they need. Plus, there's something deeply satisfying about working in your garden during winter. Everyone else has written off the season, but you're out there planting seeds and building your food security. Come March when they're scrambling to get started, you're already harvesting. These 6 vegetables aren't just about getting a head start. They're about fundamentally changing your relationship with your garden from a seasonal hobby into a year-round food system. And that's powerful. Alright, there you have it. 6 vegetables you can plant right now in January that will have you eating homegrown food before anyone sees your decision coming. Spinach, snap peas, broad beans, arugula, radishes, and lettuce. Pick one, pick all 6. But don't let this month pass without getting something in the ground. If this video opened your eyes to what's possible in winter, share it with someone who thinks gardening only happens in spring and summer. Hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? We drop content like this every single week that makes you a better, more confident grower. Comment below and tell me which vegetable you're planting first and why. I genuinely want to know where you're headed with this. Thank you for watching. Remember, the best gardeners aren't the ones with perfect conditions. They're the ones who plant anyway and learn to work with what they have. January isn't a dead month, it's an opportunity. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and never let weather be your excuse. Happy planting!